This afternoon is Jove Birongi, the governor of the state of Nyaji. I'm going to start this live in English. I'm trying to talk about where we stand with the Kongo Federation and trying to address the simple message to President Biden, the United States government, the Congress, the House of Representatives, and the Senate. Just a kind, from the heart, like we say, message about the Kongo Federation and where we stand, and basically the trip of the President of France, Emmanuel Macron, what he's trying to come do on the land of our ancestors, when many of us across the world, especially in Africa and in precision, more in precision in the Congo Federation, don't want to see him on the African land, on those land of the Kongo Federation, which is the 55th country of Africa. So let me share the live quickly, and then I'm going to start. I'll share a little bit on one more. Okay. All right. Good evening again. We're going to start this live in English, and I'm going to finish in French. But this live is more to speak directly to the President of the United States, President Biden, his government, the United States government, and also the United States Congress, the House of Representatives, and the Senate, excuse me. Is just to resume a little bit where we stand with the Kongo Federation. Like you're already aware, because we have spoke with you, we have communicated with you, we have been received by your government, we have been received by part of the United States government. We have been received in United Nations, basically through the United States connections that we have. And we just want to basically trying to figure out how to move forward a little bit quicker, because our people are impatient, and President Macron of France, like you've seen, is trying to force his way to the land of the Kongo Federation and Gabon, the country of Gabon, the country of the RDC, the Democratic Congo, to Angola, the country of Angola, and the Congo, the part of the Congo Federation, which used to be the Republic of Congo. Since we separate in two now, we are two different countries. Just to remind you again, through the most popular votes, and through the popular support, through the most popular petition in the history of our people, we was able to transfer power from the Republic of Congo to the Federation Congo to the Federal Council of Congo, which is represented by 4 states and 1 kingdom. And this transfer of power happened on October 23rd, 2021, when the Congo Federation was created. We was able to go and contact you, and we send you all the documentation, and we made sure that the United States government and every part was aware of the change, and we spoke with many of you. And tonight is just to come up and kind of resume where we stand and to try to explain to you basically the big mistake that the president of France, Macron, is making by trying to force his way to come on the land of our ancestors, the land of Kongo Federation, which just has been made a new country on October 23rd, 2021. And now our people are rejecting and do not want President Macron to try to come lecture us or talk to our people or try to maybe push some kind of crazy deal that doesn't involve the Federal Council of the Kongo Federation and doesn't involve basically the permission, because he has not been authorized to come down there. Because France have been playing hardball here when it comes to the Kongo Federation. And this live is to basically call on President Biden to call President Macron and call off this trip, because this trip is going to be a disaster in the sense that this trip is already took as an offense to our people. And the reason why is because of the failure of France, the failure of the French government, the failure of all those French multinationals who have been getting rich of our natural resources, who have been supporting one of the most ruthless dictators, Denis Sassou Nguesso, for over 40 years, who have been supporting the Freemasonry lodge over there on the land of our ancestors, who have bring a lot of destruction, who have bring a lot of the push of a lot of crimes, where over 4 million Congo have lost their lives over the past almost 40 to 50 years. Millions have lost their lives. Millions more have been impoverished, have been kept in a most disgusting poverty that is very difficult to explain with all the natural blessing, the natural resources that God has gave us freely, because we have one of the most blessed land in the history of this earth. And we still cannot explain the French type of policies and politics that they have brought to our land since they have created the Republic of Congo, which end up being the worst situation for the people of the Congo Empire, the original people that we are. The Congo with K, not that Congolese that you hear that they have changed with a C, which is the creation of France. These have nothing to do with the original people, the native people, the autochthon people. These have nothing to do. The autochthon people are the Congo with K, which are the descendants of the Congo Empire that was split in many countries in the Conference of Berlin in the 1980s, in 1880s, which, if you remember, was actually the Congo Empire that was split in many different countries, which one of those countries today is the Republic of Congo, which now is split in two, like you can see. The Republic of Congo stay here, and the Kongo Federation is in the bottom here, which used to be the South. So this part unified and asked for separation, and through the vote, to one of the most powerful petitions of our people we have collected in the last count, or last official count, over 30,264 signatures who represent over 2.5 million people. And now, lately, as we was looking at the numbers, we around 50,000 signatures, which is more than enough to give us the power to split from the Republic of Congo and to create the 55th country of Africa, which is the Kongo Federation. And we know you're aware of it because you have received all the documentation, and we have spoke to you and your government before. So, I mean, to the United States government before. So, what we're saying now is because of all these events, because of all the pressure, all the campaign that we've been pushing these past few weeks, the rejection of our people of France used to be who's still the colonizer through the CFA franc, which is the money that they impose over there on the land of our ancestors, as they take in the most richest natural resources of our land. Because you have to understand that the most popular and the most powerful natural resources come from our land, the part of what used to be the Southern Republic of Congo. So this part is the richest part of the Republic of, we used to be the Republic of Congo, now the Kongo Federation. So this part is the richest part that basically enrich France. And they try to use the old contracts that we have actually canceled on June 7, 2020 by the Kingdom of Luango, and on March 21st, 2021 by the 4 United States of the Kongo Federation. So we have canceled any type of ancestral contract that we have with France. With the authorization and the blessing of our people, over 2.5 million, we have canceled and rejected all type of contracts that ancestors has done with France. And France was aware of it, he was made aware of it, he was told that he has no right to do business on our land. Here, the Kongo Federation. They was aware of it. They have been made aware with documentation, they have been told physically, and since then, basically, everything that they have been doing on our land is illegal. So we came to United States, here, to United States Congress. We have been also received by United Nations, and we're grateful for that. We thank again the United States government, we thank President Biden, and we thank the United States Congress to have given us the opportunity to express ourselves, to talk, and to make the case of our people, the Kongo Federation, which is the most legitimate case because of the way we have structured the country and because of the way our people are responding. And the signature came from over 22 different countries, wherever the Congos are, split around the world, and from the land itself, from the villages, from the families. Basically, the signature come from the chief of tribe, chief of leaders, from leaders of families, from 3 generations on some families, because they have asked us to take our people off the Republic of Congo and to protect them and make sure that they get access to their natural resources and make sure that they get access now to their land, because the Republic of Congo didn't just impose dictatorship over there for over now almost 50 years, but they also selling off the land of our ancestors when they have no right to do so, because those in power basically are the foreigners who immigrate in our land, in the Congo land, during the colonization, basically through the French and Portuguese or whatever colonization that we went through over the years. That's when these people start to move into our land, and these are the people that France have supported. All these French presidents for the past 50 years have supported and put in power basically through a dictatorship. So now that our people have spoken, our people have been very clear. And when we came even to talk to United States after we did our traditional therapy that we call Mbongi between August 15, 2021 and October 17, 2021, we did 10 Sundays straight where we basically went on a healing process, on a traditional healing process, on a like psychotherapy through the one of the best way to communicate, which is online through the kind of Zoom kind of conference. We made that conference that allowed everybody from our land, from the land itself, and everybody in the diaspora that came from our land to come and heal together and talk about everything that the Republic of Congo has done to our people. Basically, resume the mediocrity, resume the imposition of the poverty, resume to see how bad we have been led and how bad our people came out of the Republic of Congo deal. And at the end of that traditional therapy, our people have demanded that we separate from the Republic of Congo. So us, the leadership, the Kongo Federation Council, we then execute the majority demand, and at that time it was over 22,000 signatures when we came out of Mbongi and we created the Kongo Federation, which is the 55th country of Africa now. So since then, these 22,000 signatures are now above the official last number that we give was 34,264. But since then, about the beginning of 2023, we around 50,000 signatures. So it's more than enough. So our people are signing by the hundreds every day. They want out, they requested out of Republic of Congo, and now they're asking us to put together that new country, the Kongo Federation. So view all this history, view all the history. We view the two civil war, the genocide in this part, the genocide that happened here, which altogether bring over 4 million of our people to death. Now, Macron of France, President of France, think it's the right time for him to come to the land of our ancestors and trying to push this mediocrity of France, of the French vision, the political policies of destruction and of cruelty that they have brought to our land since their president de Gaulle created the Republic of Congo with some of our ancestors. Now it thinks it's the time to come force his support to the most ruthless dictator, Denis Sassou Nguesso, which has stole again power in 1997 through a civil war supported by France and Angola. And of course, many mercenaries from different countries. So this illegitimate dictator, which is the most ruthless man in the history of Africa, who have killed over 4 million people, who have been protected by France. He has been protected for his crime in the United Nations by France. France have never thought about bringing him to justice, as our people have been asking for over 40 years now. But Emmanuel Macron, which is now one of the most unpopular French president in the history of France, who have started a crisis in his own country about trying to tear down social security, basically went after old people, poor people, and young people and forced them to work more years. I think until age 64, even past 64, and basically got a backlash of his own people. About 92% of France don't want Emmanuel Macron anymore as their president, and basically are opposed to his policy, especially the one that trying to force them to work until 64 or over. So now that his own people in France have rejected his policy, have rejected his leadership, he's trying to leave France in the beginning of March and come to the land of our ancestors of the Kongo Federation, where they have brought mediocrity, poverty, they have stolen natural resources, they never built, they never respected the contract that they had with our ancestors. They never developed our people since 1958. Since they built the Republic of Congo, they have led our people into poverty. They have financing war. They have financed 2 civil wars. They have led our people into the type of mediocrity that only in hell you can understand. Now he's trying to leave his country to come support under the worst dictator, and basically signal that these dictators that we have had, Sassou Nguesso, for over 40 years, should now let the leadership of the Republic of Congo, which is now just up here, to his son, Denis Christel Nguesso, which is one of the most stealers who have stolen more money in my generation that you can count. He stole over billions of dollars through the oil revenues that his father, Denis Sassou Nguesso, put him in charge of maybe the past 10 years. So now they want to create a dynasty on the land of the Kongo Federation, when these two came from different countries, immigrate, and have been supported by our people. They give them a land, they give them shelter. Now that he's trying to put his son in power. And Macron from France want to leave his country, where 92% of his people are against him, have rejected his policy, to come lecture our people from the Kongo Federation and force them to accept the most ruthless dictator son as their new leader. When our people have spoke with one voice, and I gave power to the Congo Federal Council, that I'm one of the governors who represent them. I'm specially representing the state of Nyadi, which is the state here, the one in light green. I'm the governor of the state of Nyadi, and I'm part of the Congo Federal Council. And we received the power to take our people off the cruelty, mediocrity, and poverty of the Republic of Congo and ask the old government on Denis Sassou Nguesso to leave our land, him and his people, and let our side of the land be led by the new leaders. So now Emmanuel Macron view all these changes, view everything that have happened the past 2 years, view the rejection of the majority of our people of French politics, of even French multinational way of doing business, because all they did is took natural resources and they never developed. That's the main thing. They never respected the ancestral contracts, because on the ancestral contract they were supposed to protect our people and develop our land. They never done it. They developed France. France has been developed. France is running around the world acting like all these natural resources that come from our land belong to them. And in the worst part, Macron of France has shown such arrogance and lack of respect that Macron of France, who cannot get any support in his own country where 92% of French don't want him anymore, and rejected his policy of killing their social security and forcing them to work over past the age 64, now trying to come lecture us to impose another 50 years of dictatorship with the son of one of the most ruthless dictators in the history of Africa, which is Denis Sassou Nguesso, who have killed over 4 million people of the Kongo Federation. He is the Adolf Hitler of our people, by the crime, by the poverty, by the ritual crime, the sacrifices crime, by the imposition of the Freemasonry, the lodge, forcing our people to get into Freemasonry, where all they do over there is basically force them to become like animals and to become the killer of their own people. They created type of leaders that they are there to destroy their own people. And the majority of the Congo people have rejected that way of doing politics that France are brought to our land. So this life is to basically bring to the attention of President Biden and the United States government the destructive consequences of Emmanuel Macron's presence in our land. Is not wanted, is not needed. Emmanuel Macron is arrogance. His way of trying to come talk to our people is more than insulting, but because when he come in front of a mic, he trying to make you, United States, and President Biden in particular, is trying to make people think that African people and Congo people in particular cannot think for themselves. That the reason why for him African and Congo people have rejected France's policies and now do not want French military or French multinational now land anymore, do not want to do business with them, they think it's because of Russia. So when he get to a mic to speak to African, to speak to Congo people, he speak in a way where he trying to make you, United States of America, and the rest of Europe and the rest of the world think that we cannot think for ourselves, that the fact that we have rejected the mediocrity that they installed in our land, the fact that we have rejected the dictators that they installed in our lands, the fact that we have rejected the French mindset altogether, is not because we don't want them anymore. It's not because they have failed. They have miserably failed our people. They have miserably never respected the contract that we had with our ancestors. But he think it's because of President Putin. He think it's because of Russia. He think it's because of the private military of Russia. How you call them? What is their name again? The name of the private military of Russia, who are helping right now, working with a couple of African countries like Mali or Burkina Faso, to basically protect their land against the jihadists, against the terrorists. So Macron think that the reason why we don't want French to do anything on our land anymore is because of Russia. Not because of the failure of French vision, French policy, French non-respect of the ancestral contract, French greediness, who basically take our natural resources and take all the money that they're supposed to pay the country that they made the deal with, in what they call, they created a community, because in a community, when they made those contracts, all these African countries of basically the 14 countries of which been created under the French colony in the French community, all those 14 countries, they basically stock all their money in the French bank. And we don't want to have nothing to do with that anymore. So, as the money is stuck in French banks, France have built itself, at the same time take natural resources, and whatever small money that they have left for the African countries, that's what the dictators have been stealing for over 40 years. They have been partying, acting like it's 1999. And they never built either. All they did is kill, bring poverty, never develop, kill our people. But they are basically a product of France. This has nothing to do with our people. This is the French mediocrity and the French cruelty that they have installed through their Freemasonry lodge, where they force everybody that's supposed to be in politics or in business to go through, so they become the killers and the impoverisher of their own people. And we have strongly rejected that. So this live is to call on President Biden to tell directly to Macron of France that is not welcome on the land of the Kongo Federation. And even you can hear the other African countries too, like Gabon. It's a strong majority now who don't want him to come there. Angola or the Democratic Congo. The failure of France, the failure of the French policies, the failure of the French mindset can be seen in the eyes, in the life of the millions of the over 2.5 million people of the Kongo Federation. And they have enough of that. And the fact that the French government still protect and support the most ruthless dictator, Denis Sassou Nguesso, after over 40 years, and trying to transfer the so-called power in the Republic of Congo to his son, Denis Christian Nguesso is actually worse than his father because we have almost the same age, and he already has stole more money than his father. His father brought him to power maybe 10 years ago through the Congress over there in the Republic of Congo, and he put him in charge of the oil. And he has stolen already more money than his father. Billions of dollars. And I'm not even talking about the crimes. He have many cases here. He settled a case here in Miami of fraud, wire transfer and that kind of stuff. Because all the money that they stole, they go park it in overseas banks. So, we want to make sure that the United States government and President Biden and the United States Congress understand that the Kongo Federation is Kongo Federal Council and its people, over 2.5 million, sitting on 762,000 square miles, do not want Emmanuel Macron of France to put his foot on our land. We don't want him to come. We don't want him to bring his failed and mediocre policies that supported one of the worst dictators in the history of Africa. And we have told him that it will be one of the worst backlash in the history of our people, and our people, we keep that in mind, and he might create a lot of, it might turn into a big opposition of the majority of our people, who might create a situation of instability right away, or even after he leaves, if he do come, force himself there. But we will never forget that, and we're taking it as an insult because he has no respect for the majority of our people, so he has no right to come to our land. We have told France that everything that was done in the past must be or redone, or they must completely leave. And when we're talking about France, we're talking about all the multinationals on our land. There are over 100 companies. And the reason why I'm coming to talk to the United States is because United States, we know, has not come publicly talking about the situation of France being rejected by African countries publicly yet. But we want the United States to understand, as you try to navigate your relationship with France, that France is not welcome anymore on our land until the issue of these dictators are solved, until the justice is done for what happened to our people, until reparations are done, until we can move on to the construction of our land after the separation, like I just showed. This is what our people have asked. They have enough. And the arrogance of Emmanuel Macron is not helping at all. We don't need him to come talk. We don't need him to come lecture our people. They have failed policies. He failed in France. 92% of his people don't want him. And the country of France and all his presidents before him, all the French presidents have failed our people because they have lived us with poverty, they have lived us with war, they have lived us under dictators when they got rich of our natural resources. They have developed France and they have lived mediocrity, poverty, and cruelty on the land of our ancestors, which is today the Kongo Federation. So, what we are saying is, United States cannot stay in the background anymore and say almost nothing. My conversation or my presentation this afternoon is to explain to United States Congress and United States government and President Biden, you cannot sit on the sideline anymore, because the situation is going to degenerate. And if it gets to the worst part, what everybody think that might happen, you will be on basically a side where you're going to lose a lot, because we understand your relationship with France. We understand that France is basically the front of a lot of what United States also is doing in the land of our ancestors, like the Kongo Federation. But this time around, France is basically rebuked. And you can see it. And it's not, it's not something that's going to pass. This backlash, this rejection of French policy is growing every day. And us, by coming here, is trying to figure out a way to make that uncomfortable position and that process where our people have rejected France to do the separation or to do the change in the most human way possible. Because if we don't try to do that now, if blood starts to spill, because French try to force their way into our land by supporting the dictator and his family and his clan, the Mboshi, and the Freemasonry that they force down there to our people, if we don't find a way to solve this in the most human way, and the blood starts to spill, France will never do business on our land anymore. I think you have seen what's happening in the country of Mali, Burkina Faso, and many other countries now. And the Kongo Federation, which was also the first country to cut contracts with France since 2020 and 2021. So we're trying to figure out here and explain to the United States, you cannot sit in the back anymore. Because if the situation degenerate, go left really bad, all the interest that you think that you may have through France on our land going to be affected negatively. Because those multinational like Total, who is over there being taking oil for over 50 years now, who has not done any good to our people, to be honest with you, who has part or he's been part of this mafia, this stealing our natural resources and financing dictators, Denis Sassou Nguesso, bring him to power 2 times and all that kind of stuff. Now we'll catch up because the report card is really bad, really negative, because they have took natural resources, never developed the land, never developed the people, never care about the autochthone, the native people. Pollution is everywhere. Finance crimes, war crimes and stuff like that. So the history is not good. And this time around, they probably all will be asked or pushed to leave. And I don't think you want to see a picture like what happened in Afghanistan, on Iraq, or what happened in the genocide of Rwanda, because they even used in Rwanda to try to buy the land of our ancestors without the permission of the native people, which we are. The Kongo autochthone people never agreed to sell any land to Rwanda, but the son of Sassou Nguesso, Denis Sassou Nguesso, the one that Macron trying to come put in power to replace his criminal and dictator dad, the son, Denis Sassou Nguesso, is now collaborating with Rwanda. Paul Kagame of Rwanda try to buy the land of our ancestors without authorization so he can plant racin, which is a poison, which is going to bring, basically kill land and poison our people. So even what they're trying to do in the future is really destructive. So our people are willing to react. So I come here to explain to the United States that Emmanuel Macron's trip to the land of our ancestors is an insult and a provocation. Because he's not welcome there. We haven't asked him to come. We haven't gave him the permission to come on the land of our ancestors because of the contentious situation of separation between the Republic of Congo and the Federation Congo, who have not been solved yet. And we are trying our best to avoid one of the worst bloodshed, because now justice must be delivered to our people. Our people have suffered for over 50 years, have been impoverished, have been treated like they're nobody. Their resources have been taken. Their land has been sold to foreigners without their authorization. They're basically forced to sell because of that mediocre and dictatorship government supported by Emmanuel Macron. And all this Freemasonry and all these French oligarchs who enrich themselves through the multinational now land and shows no respect, no consideration for the old contracts or anything that we did with them. All they did is take, and force mediocrity and cruelty on our people. So President Biden, you need to intervene here before the situation escalates. Over 2.5 million of our people have rejected French policy, have rejected Emmanuel Macron's presence on the land of our ancestors. The Kongo Federation is not welcome there, is not needed, is not wanted. Emmanuel Macron is an arrogant young president who do not understand African people, do not understand, on top of that, Congo people. Emmanuel Macron has no respect for African people. He has no respect for Congo people. He thinks that we don't want France anymore because of Russia. And he said it publicly. Russia has nothing to do with it. The reason why the other country used to be French colony went with Vladimir Putin of Russia is because France could not deliver development, could not bring prosperity after over 50 years. Deal with them. That's why they don't want France anymore. It has nothing to do with Vladimir Putin. And this thing about financing all these jihadists and playing games in people's countries, creating wars, financing jihadists and bringing type of war situation and stability so they can keep stealing natural resources. We're done with these games. That's what we're saying. And now we have told France, now you're going to bear the consequences of the mediocrity that you have forced on our people. All your private companies, your multinational, going to be affected now. And the French army that you have on our African lands are asked to leave too. So I'm asking President Biden to intervene because before the situation degenerate and get to a point where we could not find an understanding peacefully. And my question is, what is it that the United States is waiting for? To be very honest with the United States government, you are aware of the situation. You have the documentation. The Kongo Federation Council has spoke with the United States government. Why are you leading from behind? Leaving France in front not going to help anymore. Nobody want to listen or deal with them anymore on our land. Over 2.5 million have rejected the French policy and the French way of doing business and even French presence when it comes to his business and his military. And the arrogance of Emmanuel Macron, who think he's President Donald Trump, former President Donald Trump. Emmanuel Macron think he's former President Donald Trump. Actually, he want to be. Because that's what he's doing in France. That's why he's going after Social Security over there. And he created a mess where 90% of his population are rejecting him now. He just got brought back in power in the second mandate, and he already turned off 90% of the country against him. And less of focusing on solving the problem of French people, he's trying to leave his country, come insult our people, insult our country, the Kongo Federation, and solve the Kongo Federal Council by trying to make us think that we don't have the right to reject French policy after over 50 years of failure and poverty and cruelty installed in the land of our ancestors. Our ancestors never signed contract with them so we can stay poor and see all the money going in French bank as France is developed itself and our land never been delivered. That's never what our ancestors signed the contract for, even if when they was forced to sign. The intent never been that we get poverty, cruelty, and you get prosperity in France. It never been a deal like that. But that's what the deal came down to in the reality of the life of the over 2.5 million people of the Kongo Federation. We got poverty, we got dictatorship, we got genocide, we got civil wars, we got dictators, and we got cruelty, and France got development. France got natural resources for free. France got to become one of the most powerful of the world going to the United Nations talking like all these 14 African countries belong to them. We thought that you said that colonization was over. So what the hell is that? African people, Congo people, we can speak for ourselves. We don't need friends. And that's why I'm calling on the United States to start to acknowledge that process that way. Stop leading from behind. We don't need France to speak for us. France have been rebuked because of the mediocrity that they have installed in Africa for over 50 years. That's why nobody wants to deal with them anymore. These have nothing to do with Vanguard, with President Putin, or with Russia. This has nothing to do with Vladimir Putin, President of Russia. This has nothing to do, let me repeat that so United States government understand what Jove Birongi, which is I am the governor of the state of Nyaji. Let me just make it clear to you. The over 2.5 million of the Kongo Federation that have rejected France in my country, the Kongo Federation, has nothing to do with Russia. This has nothing to do with President Vladimir Putin. This has to do with the failure, the mediocrity, the absurdity of France, of French policy, on French military, of French support of one of the worst dictators in the history of Africa, Denis Sassou Nguesso. It has nothing to do with Russia. I want the United States to understand what I'm saying and get exactly what is coming from my people that I represent. So stop leading from behind, thinking that France is going to come do a better job in Africa than you can do yourself. That's basically the most important part of my message to the United States, to President Biden, to the United States government, to the United States Senate, and the United States House of Representatives. Whether you have the Democrat or Republican, you need to start to act on the situation between the Republic of Congo and the Kongo Federation, because it's going to be a lot to lose. You cannot lead from behind anymore. The arrogance on Emmanuel Macron, trying to sell to you, United States of America, and to United Nations and all the other countries, that the reason why we have rejected France is because of Russia, is the most insulting way of talking about African people and Congo people in particular, and the Congo Federal Council that I represent as the governor of the state of Nyaji. Emmanuel Macron, do not speak to us when you guys get to your rooms. When you sit down with friends. And this message goes also to Vice President Kamala Harris. Please, don't let Emmanuel Macron manipulate you by making you think that he has any control over our country. That's wrong. It's not true. And he cannot come to convent. There is no speech that he's going to come do, or we learn that he's going to talk tomorrow to try to appease. Who is going to appease? They failed for 50 years. We don't want them anymore. We want them to leave, or to adjust the way contracts, the way the money situation with the safer franc, the worst situation that they have put their people in. But basically, the Kongo Federation, we don't even talk about the safer franc because that doesn't concern us. We're gonna be paid for our natural resources by the way we're gonna decide to be paid. And we are already, I've seen that to the rest of the countries in the world. Everybody who's gonna come do business in our land, we say that we're gonna talk one-on-one with you to the way you're going to pay us for our natural resources. There will be no transfer of our money to the French bank. That's never going to happen. Coming from the Kongo Federation. There will be no transfer of money going to any French bank. Never. That stuff is over. So, I want to make it clear to United States of America. The reason why French have been rebuked has nothing to do with President Putin of Russia or his private army, how they call them. Somebody can put me the name, I think it's Vanguard. What is the private army of Russia that is working around Africa now? If you can put me the name, I forgot the name of that private Russian army who is working with a country like Mali or Burkina Faso. If you can put me the name, I kind of forgot the name. If you can write me the name here, that'd be great. So, Wagner, okay. Thank you, my wife. Yeah, okay, Wagner. So, the rebuke of France, the rebuke of the French President Emmanuel Macron, the rebuke of French policy, the rebuke of French armies, the rebuke of French way of doing business has nothing to do with Wagner of Russia or Vladimir Putin or anything going on with Russia. And I want this to be cemented in every American politician or leader of government. I want you to get that point. Because that's the point that Emmanuel Macron, with his arrogance, is going around trying to make everybody think that Africans can think for themselves or don't know what they have done to us. Because they don't even want to acknowledge the pain, the destruction, and the fact that they never respected the old contracts. That's how insulting Emmanuel Macron is. So, I want to make that point, like we say in the United States, drive that point home. I want to drive this point home. The rejection of France from 2.5 million people of the Kongo Federation, from 2.5 million, over 2.5 million, because we now pass with around 50,000 signatures, the historic way, the most historic referendum in the history of our people, where they have transferred power to us even being overseas. It has almost never been done before. So over 2.5 million people of this country have rejected France, rejected French policy, rejected the way the multinational of France are doing business in our land. This has nothing to do with Russia. And I want to make sure that the United Nations Secretary, Mrs. I think, the United Nations Secretary, the one who represents the United States government, I want to drive this point to you that you get into your documentation that the reason why France is rejected in Kongo Federation and Africa in general is because of French failure of developing those countries. This is the reason why the other African country went with Russia. So it has nothing to do with Russia. It has to do with the failure, the mediocrity of France. People are saying, We're going to fight until the victory and the freedom of our country, the federation. Okay, that's what our people are saying. And this presentation this afternoon is to try to make the United States understand that you cannot lead from behind anymore with this situation in France. Emmanuel Macron gonna convince nobody. Actually, he's a really arrogant young president. He has shown no respect. He has shown no acknowledgement of the mediocrity that they have installed with his load of dictators that they have put over there in the land of our ancestors. This used to be the Congo Empire that you guys have split in many different countries in 1880s during the Berlin Conference. We all know that. You went out there and you split the Congo Empire, the Congo Empire, the Congo with K, not that C that came from France. That's the real name, Congo with K. Let me put it in front of everybody. Congo, that's our real name. That's who we are. We are Congo people, not the Congolese that you hear. That Congolese stuff being put together during colonization, during when they was trying to create those countries. That's nothing to do. It's Congo with K. So, I want to drive this point to the United States tonight, this afternoon, and to just explain to you that the 55th country of Africa, the Kongo Federation, has rejected France, has rejected French policy, has rejected French multinational, the way they're doing business. And that's why we have broke any contract that we have with them June 7, 2020 and March 21st, 2021. Any contract that we have had with France has been stopped June 7, 2020 and March 21st, 2021. The four states of the Kongo Federation and the Kingdom of Luango. So we have 4 states and 1 kingdom, so it's 5 part of the new country. And it's not because of Russia. It's not because of Vladimir Putin. It's because of the failure and the imposition of the political cruelty that France have installed in the land of my ancestors. It's because of the political vision of cruelty. It's because of the cruelty of France, the cruelty of his politician, the cruelty of his multinational, the cruelty of his military, the cruelty of his private armies that they have installed in Africa and in the Kongo Federation in particular, that the 2.5 million people of the Kongo Federation have rejected France and have refused to see Emmanuel Macron on the land of our ancestors. So President Biden, United States of America, should stop leading from behind when it comes to the situation of the Kongo Federation and come forward, because your interest will be affected as France is basically being run out of Africa. So if your interests align with France, and we know they do, so you need to understand that France is on the verge of losing any stand in the land of our ancestors. When we're talking about stand, we're talking about business. We're talking about the multinational that you guys are connected with them to. And we're talking about the connection to Wall Street. I know that's the language that we understand here in America. Because those companies are going to be affected. Especially if blood is spilled on our land. Because we have said now, we're going to start now. First of all, we put in place a quality control process where we are measuring now
the effect and the devastation of the multinational on the land of our ancestors. Each and every company is going to be responsible for how much damage they have done to our people. We have now a process of control of quality control to basically start measuring the effect of poverty and mediocrity and cruelty that was installed on the life of our people. Yes, we're going to come up with a type of report when the time comes. But now, the multinational are going to be affected because we do not want you on our land if your business do not develop the Congo people. We don't want you on our land if what you do is just come take the natural resources and develop in your own country, but do not develop in our country, do not create jobs in our country. Because as we speak, 80% of our people original from the Kongo Federation, the autochthone people, the native people, they don't work. The people that work is the people from the north, all the people around the Mboshi tribe of Denis Sassou Nguesso, they have put their own people in jobs. But the people that the land belong to, the Congo people, the autochthone people, the native people, have left out of work. Because they're not part of their tribes. So President Biden and the United States government, this situation about Emmanuel Macron and France will affect the United States. The question is, do we let things go to destruction first? Do we want to talk about another Iraq situation or another Afghanistan situation or another Vietnam situation before United States step in front? Do we need to go to a bloodshed before you decided to intervene here? But like we say, our people this time around will not let nobody come take natural resources without them benefiting from them anymore. That's done. That's why we have abolished the old contract. That's way of doing business have been rejected by our people. And that's why Emmanuel Macron's approach to the situation is really insulting, because he do not acknowledge and understand that it's because of the failure of the president of France before him, the failure of his oligarchy over there who put him in power in France, the failure of his multinational, of his military, is because of the failure of France, that France is rejected today in the land of the Kongo Federation and African land all around. And United States cannot stay on the sideline anymore, because you're going to have the repercussion, and those repercussions going to hit Wall Street. That's just the truth. Because we don't want to see any more of that political way of cruelty that have been imposed on our people land, where the natural resources are ours. They came from these lands. Those natural resources are ours. They're not France. They're not French natural resources. They are Kongo Federation natural resources. They belong to the native autochthone people of the Kongo Federation. Whether we have the technology to develop it or not doesn't matter. We have the right to pick whoever we want to come do business here. But you cannot force yourself here, do business here, never develop, never create jobs here, never participate in the prosperity of the people, of the native people. And talking about you want a bilateral relationship with our country. This has been rebuked. That's why Emmanuel Macron should not come on our land, because he do not understand the mediocrity and the failure that France have brought to our land. in Africa in general, and in the Kongo Federation in particular. That's why 2.5 million people have transferred power from the Republic of Congo to the creation of the Kongo Federation, even though the leadership of the Kongo Federation are overseas. How many times have you heard that many times? That people has been transferred power being overseas. And the most powerful thing about the Congo Federal Council, we're not even in the same country, all of us. But we was able to connect with our people. Our people was able to connect with us. Our people have transferred by at least 3 generations of their family power to us, so we can tell everybody in the world that they do not want to have anything to do with France and Emmanuel Macron anymore, as long as things are not be put back in perspective, and as long as the interests are not be realigned, because right now our interests have nothing in common. And United States cannot lead from behind anymore because France has been rebuked. Emmanuel Macron has been rebuked. So President Biden, it's time that your government step up before things go left. And like I said, it will affect the multinational that you're working with. It will affect Wall Street. Because I understand that you understand that language. I've been grateful to have been given refuge in the United States of America. I participate in this country. I was able to have the opportunity to get work in this country. I've been able to have an opportunity to live a decent life in America. So what can I, as a leader, which you have offered an opportunity to have an opportunity to become prosperous, why can I offer the same thing to my people where the natural resources come from? That's the part that Emmanuel Macron do not understand. The French way of doing things, doing politics, doing business, have been rebuked by our people. And he must accept that. So that's why United States cannot stay in the background anymore and wait it out. Because if blood is spilled in this situation of the separation between the Republic of Congo, which is supported by France, where the dictator and his family still supported, that Adolf Hitler of the Congo people who have killed over 4 million, that France support. If this support continues, blood will be spilled. And we don't want to hear United States come tell us why we didn't give you the heads up, why we didn't talk to you. We came to you. With our heart on the table, we have explained to you how much suffering our people have been going through. This since 1958 has been going on. We don't want it anymore. Our people have voted to get these people off power and out of our land. The land of the native, the autochthone people, which is where the base of the Congo with K, or the Congo, the descendant of the Congo Empire are all across the world. This is the only land that they may have to come, basically connect with the ancestry. We have asked you to give opportunity to our people to live freely and to now have more control over 51% of our own natural resources and control the destiny of our people and have our sovereignty respected. Over 2.5 million have transferred power to a leadership that has been sitting overseas because of a refugee status, because of Denis Sassou Nguesso. And France didn't care about that. They want to play a nasty game that they already lost. So United States of America cannot sit on the sideline or lead from behind anymore, because you understand that it will affect Wall Street. That's just straight up talk. Those multinationals will bear the consequences if the blood of our people is spilled. We already had 2 civil wars. We already had over 4 million deaths. And we will not go up to another war without everybody paying the price now. There will not be a situation where only our people are going to die and the multinational are going to stand there, survive, and take natural resources. No, it's not going to happen. Matter of fact, this time around, if blood is spilled, we're going to start with the multinational, because they're the one who financing all this BS. And our people are ready and aware of it. And us as leaders, and me as the governor of the state of Nyaji, my responsibility is to come to try to figure out a way to make that transition without bloodshed. So you must understand, it's nothing you can do about keeping what used to be the Republic of Congo together. That ship has been sold already. It's sold. We talk about it, you know that. We have talked about that. Behind the scene. So the Kongo Federation is here, and they have rebuked French policies. French way of doing things. So this live is to basically confirm to the United States government, to President Biden, to the House of Representatives and the Senate of the United States, that the Kongo Federation is a legitimate country, should be accepted to the United Nations as the 55th country of Africa, officially, like everybody's been waiting for now for a couple of months now, and should be allowed to transition that all these people from the dictatorship government off our land. Without bloodshed, if we can. France have been told our position. That's why Emmanuel Macron presence in our land right now is just to come put fuel to the fire. The reason why I'm calling on the United States to act as quickly as possible is because if blood starts to be spilled, if blood starts to be spilled, it's going to be very difficult for us to convince our people that the United States should be part of the solution. And we all know about how everybody in the West feel about Russia in those days. I'm just on the real. When we came to you, we spoke honestly. We have been put in power to protect the Congo people. We have been put in power to take control over the land of the Congo people. We have been put in power to take control of the natural resources and to at least keep 51% control of all our natural resources, and we do all the contracts. That's why we have been put in power. And we're going to deliver. But as a leader, I have the responsibility to come prevent or stop a bloodshed if I can. That's why I'm calling on the United States of America to stop leading from behind and stop being on the sideline when it comes to the Congo Federation and the Republic of Congo, because this thing gonna escalate if you don't step in. And if the blood is on the floor, nobody will listen to you anymore. And you know how this thing works. So don't come and talk about Russia like Emmanuel Macron is running around the world telling everybody that it's because of Russia. It's not. It's because of the failure, the mediocrity, and the politic of cruelty that French have installed in over 14 countries in Africa. This is why they don't want France anymore. This is why Emmanuel Macron is rebuked. And this is why I wanted to do this presentation this afternoon, to tell straight up to the President of the United States, President Biden, to call Emmanuel Macron and ask him to stay off our lands. He's not welcome. He's not wanted. He's not needed. And he has no ounce of respect for African people, because he do not understand our mindset. Because he think he own us, he own our land, he think he own our people. He think that we are his servant by the way he talk. And his arrogance gonna bring us to a position where blood will be spilled, because we will never submit to the Republic of Congo dictator Denis Sassou Nguesso. We will never submit to that. And we will never submit to his son. We rather burn it all down. We have said it publicly. We rather burn it all down. When I'm talking about businesses, we're talking about there are people over there. We're going to burn it all. We rather do that. We rather turn this beautiful land into like the mountain of Afghanistan, but to make sure that you don't get a dime or a piece of oil or a piece of natural resources of our land. We rather do that. That's the position that the Kongo Federation and the 2.5 billion people are. Then let France keep taking from us without authorization and disrespecting us every time they can, and talk about Russia. These are nothing to do with Russia. This is a French failure, and it must be acknowledged as such. So United States have to step in and come make sure that bloodshed is not going to spill everywhere. Like I say, to conclude here, the multinational going to be affected, which means Wall Street going to be affected. And we're gonna now attach all our debt to your companies, to all these 100 French companies. It's about 100 companies of France. Yeah. Where is my document here? I'm just gonna show it again to conclude. They have about 100 companies, French companies on the land of our ancestors. They have about 100 of them. And if French do not listen, they all will be affected here. And like I say, we rather burn it all down than let France keep getting rich of our natural resources while our people only get cruelty. We're done with that. We are done with the politic of cruelty. That's why we want United States President Biden to step in front of that situation before it de-escalate. And we would like President Biden to tell Macron to stay in France and take care of the over 90% of French who are pissed off about the fact that he's killing Social Security and trying to force people to work after 64 years old. He should be handling that situation. He should not be coming to our land. Nobody asked him there. Nobody called him there. Nobody need him there. Because he's an arrogant young man who do not understand African people and do not understand the Congo people. So that was my message today. to the United States and the rest of the world. Look, I'm a little bit limited here because of what our people have been going through for a long time. And we have been really honest with everybody in the world. We talk to everybody, every country. We wanted to make sure that you understand who we are. This is our land. This is our natural resources. God gave it to us that free. So why is all the money stay in French bank? As France have developed themselves and never developed our people. They never respected the contract. So we voted the contract. It's our right. It's our natural right because we are the descendant of the Congo people coming from the Congo Empire. This is our natural, autochthon, native rights. And it's true, it's right that we got the power that we have today. Even me sitting in Atlanta, Georgia. The power was transferred to me because I'm one of the autochthon people of this land and I represent the state of Nyaji, which I've been made governor. And my duty is to represent and protect the Congo people, protect the land of the Kongo Federation, and protect the natural resources of the Kongo Federation, and to take control over these natural resources and keep control at least 51%. That's what the agreement that was made between us and our people. And I'm going to make sure that it's done. So I want to conclude by calling again on President Biden, on the United States government, on the United States Senate and the House of Representatives to step in before it gets too late. Because when the blood starts spilling, don't come talking to us about why is it that Russia showed up. Don't come talking to us about why is it that North Korea showed up to protect the Congo. Why is it that maybe the Taliban show up? Don't ask us the question. Because we came to you to tell you, you need to step in now because France don't want to understand. Emmanuel Macron don't get it. He's a young president, arrogant, who do not understand African people and do not understand Congo people in particular. We don't want to see him. We don't want to talk to him. We want him away from our land, our natural resources, and our people. Because of the failure of what they have done. So I'm going to finish this live by saying to the United States, we hope that you watch this video. We hope that you talk amongst each other. And please, step in to avoid the worst. Because if we get to the worst part, everybody going to be affected. Wall Street will be affected. Because this time around, our people are not going to die for free. And now we have put in place a quality control process where justice, reparation, gonna have to be done before anything else can be done, before any contract can be done. Justice and reparation gonna have to be on the table first. Because of the amount of suffering and the humiliation of the native autochthon people of Congo, which are the descendants of the Congo Empire, that many of your countries in the West have split in 1880s during the Berlin Conference, which is the Congo Conference. Congo with K, you know that, I know that. And I think it's time to start making amends. United States, until proven otherwise, still recognized as the most powerful country in the world. And I'm asking to the most powerful man in the world to step in. Call off Emmanuel Macron is an insult to our people. He do not understand us. His country never understood us. he needs to stay off our lands. And we should solve the situation as fast as we can, as fast as possible, between the Republic of Congo and the Kongo Federation, so we don't turn into a bloodbath. And like I say, the multinational going to be affected this time, and everybody going to lose. And on our end, we say that we rather burn it all down than let people exploit us and not develop our lands. We're done with that. So that was my message for today. Thank you again. Please, you have our contacts. You have our phone numbers. You have our emails. If you need us to come to Washington, just let us know. If President Biden, you think that we should, come to Washington and talk to you physically, we are willing to do that. It's about 3 of us here in the north. We have the governor of the state of Buenza and Lekumu, Mikael Pungi said Bernard Pungi. You have the mother of the Kongo Federation, Mama Olga, here in California with me, in California here in the United States, and me, I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, Jove Birongi. So if you need us to come to Washington to have that director, we are willing to do it. Just tell us when and where. But you cannot stay on the sideline. That's what I'm saying to the United States. And if you do choose to stay on the sideline, then don't cry. Then don't come complaining about Russia or if another country step into hell. We're trying to avoid the big bloodshed here. Because France don't want to understand. They think they're slick. They're not. And Emmanuel Macron think he's smart. He's not. It's not his land, it's not his country, it's not his natural resources, it's not his people. He doesn't represent us, Emmanuel Macron. I want to make it clear to the United States. Okay. Thank you again for everything. God bless you. God bless the Kongo Federation. God bless the Congo Federal Council. God bless the rest of the world, and also God bless the United States of America. It was Jove Birongi here. I'm the governor of the state of Nyadi. And take this message to the United States government, to President Biden, to the House of Representatives and the United States Senate. It's very important and urgent, so we can avoid a disaster situation. Thank you.